Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our City Council meeting. Today is Monday, August 7th, 2023. Before we have our Pledge of Allegiance, I'm going to ask you if you please rise for a brief moment of silence as we reflect back on the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces as they protect our interests around the globe, as well as the courageous men and women of the Las Cruces Police Department and the Las Cruces Fire Department as they keep our city safe 24/7, 365. Councilor Bencomo, could you join me in the pledge, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, so as we always start off our city council meetings, we have our pets of the week, and I believe Amy DeFelix is on a Zoom. Amy, are you there?
Hello, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Don't see your presentation yet.
All right, yes, I still need to share my screen. This work? There we go. It says now screen sharing, so it should be popping up soon.
Okay, now we can see, there you go.
Awesome, there we go. Let me stop my video so it's easy to see all the text. Alrighty, and it's, hello everyone, my name is Amy DeFelix. I am one of the rescue coordinators for the ASCMD, and every week I present the pets of the week. I choose and present them. So we'll start off, as always, with our cat of the week. Sorry, this is Billy. Billy was the last cat of the week. This cat is actually, his name is Tom. I just noticed this mistake. But Tom, his number is 63021. And he says, "Can you believe I've been at the ASCMV for over 2 months now? I sure can't. I'm the last of my siblings to be adopted, and it might be because I'm a little shy. Being approached scares me a little bit, but if you work slowly with me and give me gentle pets, I start purring like a motor. I just need a kind and patient family to make me feel safe and help me come out of my shell." And then we also have our dog of the week. This week, his name is Ranger. His number is 51167. And he says, "I'm a gentle giant in my golden years, and I'm ready to find my retirement home. I've gotten along pretty well with almost all people and dogs I've ever met, but I'm not the biggest fan of cats. Despite my older age, I can still be energetic and love going out on walks and playing around. But I know how to wind down and relax at the end of the day." He's definitely, I take a particular liking to him. He kind of looks like maybe a lab mix and then something mixed in with him that gives him that little, like a little curly tail at the end. I don't know if you can maybe see that. He's a very unique mixed breed and he has a whole lot of love to give. Adoption events. We are going to be at Petrie Kia this Saturday, August 12th. We'll be there from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And this is in celebration of Clear the Shelters, part of the Clear the Shelters campaign that we're participating in all month long, where adoptions are only going to be $25 the entire month of August, but at Petrie Kia specifically, the wonderful people over there are offering to sponsor the adoption fees of all the animals that over there that get adopted at Petrie Kia. So definitely stop on by and say hi, and maybe you'll fall in love with your next best fur friend. And I don't know, a lot of people from the community kind of ask this similar question, just kind of like, why should I adopt from a shelter or rescue instead of just buying from a pet store or buying from a breeder? And in general, there are a few reasons. Most of it is kind of like adoptions in general are cheaper on average than buying outright from a breeder. Breeders can be hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on, I guess, the breeder themselves, the type of breed, and everything else. And that usually excludes like even the spay and neuter, follow-up vaccines, and anything like that. But here at at shelter or rescue adoptions, especially locally, adoption fees are like $150 at max, but are usually cheaper. And we usually have like adoption specials going on like this month. More is covered in an adoption fee. So an adoption fee from a shelter or rescue, I guess with the ASCMB specifically, because I can speak for us, our adoption fee covers like our microchip, the rabies vaccination, any other vaccinations that your pet has received up until adoption. Same with the dewormer. And most importantly, the adoption fee also covers their spay and neuter surgery. That's all included in the one fee. And I know getting all of these done, if you get a pet from somewhere else and you still need to have all of these done, getting them at a clinic is can be pretty pricey. So it's definitely cost effective to pay an adoption fee at a shelter or rescue, and that can all get taken care of for you. And I know while it's common for people to want to buy puppies or kittens, I know they can also come with kind of unwanted behaviors like excessive chewing and especially potty training in the case of puppies. When you adopt an older pet from a shelter, they're more likely to have gotten over their sort of like puppy or kitten behaviors. They're no longer teething. They can be a little less destructive. And especially with the adult dog specifically, unless they've lived an entirely outdoor life up until that point, they are more than likely potty trained. But there are also some professionals all over the web that can say that if you have to potty train an adult dog, it might even be a little bit easier than potty training a puppy, because they're a little easier to. Their brain is kind of established with wanting a routine. It's mostly just getting them into the routine and sticking to it. And adult dogs kind of have that focus and that drive a little bit more than like a little puppy would. And lastly, but just as important, adopting from a shelter or rescue really saves 2 lives instead of just 1. Especially in the case of like our closed admission rescue partners locally, especially like APA, where they are closed admission, so they only take in animals whenever they have the space, and they are not obligated to take in from the community essentially. So they will mostly pull from us. And so when you adopt, like especially in their case, you not only save the life of the one you're adopting, but also you're saving the life of the one that they get to take in next. So that adoption fee event like has a kind of like a ripple effect impact on multiple animals' lives. And that's definitely a good thing. And this is a little breakdown, kind of like what is an adoption fee, kind of taking the low and the high ranges that you can find online. These are definitely kind of just ballpark estimates. So like a microchip, anywhere between $25 and $75. Spay and neuter, $50 if you're doing like a low cost or a voucher kind of thing, like SNAP possibly, up to $300. The dewormer and all the vaccines. And over here, that range kind of gets added up between like a low end of like $192 to a higher end of $615. But with the adoption fee, specifically our ASCMV adoption fee, that's $150. So it's pretty much always going to be cheaper, and more cost effective to adopt, particularly from the ASCMV. And we also have this, you can find this on our website as well. It's a little bit, it needs to be updated because we no longer do the licensing. But other than that, it kind of breaks down what all is included in adoption fee. So our adoption fee is typically $150, plus we have discounts for if they're already fixed, and another discount if they're long-termers, as we call them. But all month long, August 1st through 31st, during Clear the Shelters, every single adoption fee is going to be $25. So that's even a bigger deal. So we highly encourage, if you know someone looking for a new pet, if you yourself are looking for a new pet, definitely take this time, take advantage of the Clear the Shelters, and stop on by. And thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Can I ask you a question real quick? Are you
Yes.
at your home or are you at the office or?
I'm at the office.
The reason why I ask is perhaps maybe in the future, someone from our communications office can go over there and see if they can put a little bit of something to, there's some feedback that we get and you're not as clear. We can hear you, but it's a little bit, and it's probably because there may be something there that just causes the voice to resonate a certain way. But we appreciate that information, and see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, see you. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so next we're going to go to Jobs of the Week, and I believe Giselle Palomares, or is it Sarah? Looks like it's Sarah.
Good afternoon, Mayor. Yes, sir, it's Sarah Rainey. How are you today? Thank you for having me. I'm going to share my screen real quick. And can you all see my screen? Are you able to see my screen, sir?
Yes. The title, we haven't seen the
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for having me, everyone. These are the jobs of the week for the New Mexico Workforce Connections Office. The first one we have is an active transportation coordinator for the city of Las Cruces. That Pay ranges from $58,000 to $83,000 per year, depending on experience. That is a continuous posting. We also have for the city a library manager that pay ranges from $60,000. It starts at $60,000. That one closes next week. It has 1 week left on that posting, so 8/14 is when that one closes. A security guard position is open at the White Sands Missile Range. It begins at $37,000. That one closes in December. We also have a retail salesperson at the Verizon here in Las Cruces. They did not post a salary range, so you'd have to see on that one. That one closes in October. We have a registered nurse, a PICU specific nurse at the Memorial Medical Center, ranges at $11 an hour, and that one also depends on experience as well. That one closes on 8/16 next week. We have an emergency medical technician position with the American Medical Response Team here in town. Depending on experience, that pay varies. They did list that they have a $2,000 sign-on bonus for that one. That one closes on 8/12. As always, anyone can reach us at the New Mexico Workforce Connections office here in Las Cruces at 226 South Alameda Boulevard. You can also call us at 524-6250 or reach us on the web at EmployeeNM or on our new app. If anyone has any questions, feel free to come see us down at the office. And thank you very much.
Okay, Sarah, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Okay, so next we're going to have a couple of presentations. And before we do, knowing Mr. Morris, I think he's going to give a presentation first or after we give the award. Mr. Morris, are you going to do a little rendition for us? Yeah, if you want to, you and your family want to come forward, and the counselor has a proclamation for you. Yes, sir. Right. We could also, Counselor, if you want to give him the Mr. Microphone, sure. That might work. But then they can't see his uniform.
Sir, how much time will I have?
You take as long as you want.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. The mayor let me do this 10 years ago. In 2010, and I think you were in your first term in 2010.
Yes, sir. I believe so. 2010.
Well, I'd like to dedicate this one to the mayor, and to my sister, to Janice, and to my friends who have come here. Okay, and I say again, good afternoon to you all. I started rehearsing this on Thursday or Friday night, I guess. Why do I want to be a Buffalo Soldier? Number one, I'm African American. The Lakota Indians gave the Buffalo Soldiers their name because of their hair and their bravery. I'm Staff Sergeant Harold Morris. I started with the Boy Scouts at Booker T. Washington School. I left there, went to the integrated schools here, still with the Boy Scouts. I joined the Army Reserves in 1957. Spent about 5 years with that. Then I went regular Army. I was in France for 2.5 years, came back to the States, and I was stationed at Fort Bliss for a bit, and the unit that I was with was a missile unit. Out of 80 guys, I was the only one who got orders for Vietnam. While I was in Vietnam, my older brother was killed in a motorcycle accident. I came back halfway through my tour. I could have gotten out of going back, but I didn't try it. I went back. I worked in the mines for 10 years. I went to college. I've been in 10 countries. My dad printed the Sun News here. He had a heart attack at 49. My mother was a house mom for SA fraternity. She died of pancreatic cancer at 82. I have a song I want to present to you all as well. It was sung by Sam Cooke. I was born by a river in a little tent, just like that river I've been rolling ever since. It's been a long time coming, but a change's gonna come. Yes, it is. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but a change gonna come. And I think you all will agree that song was appropriate. Mr. Fire Chief there, I want to say hello to you, and good afternoon again. Thank you. Thank you.
That was beautiful. I love that song very much. Do you want to stay up here while I read the proclamation for you? Yes. Whereas in 1866, Congress passed the Army Organization Act, allowing former slaves to serve during the Civil War, in which over 180,000 African American men made up 6 regiments and fought for the Union. Whereas in 1992, President George Bush and the United States Department of the Interior declared July 28th as Buffalo Soldiers' Day. And whereas the state of New Mexico, which previously was a territory protected with and by Buffalo soldiers, and whereas the Buffalo Soldiers served proudly and with a standard of bravery and skill worthy of the United States Army, and as an entity did serve nobly, and many died gallantly in service to their country. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and city council of the city of Las Cruces, New Mexico, do hereby proclaim Friday, July 28th, 2023 as Buffalo Soldiers' Day, and urge all citizens to observe this day with the appropriate programs and activities in honor of the Black Americans who served our nation as members of the Buffalo Soldiers. Signed by our mayor, Ken Miyagashima, and attested by our city clerk, Christine Rivera. You want to come here and take a picture? Thank you all. Of course, Mayor. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the second one. Thanks, all. Okay, we have one more proclamation today for Never Give Up Day. Is a representative here for this proclamation today? I don't have a name, unfortunately. Do you have a name up there? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and read it then. Whereas the city of Las Cruces proudly joins community members in celebrating Never Give Up Day on Friday, August 18th, 2023. And whereas Never Give Up Day is about inspiring others, motivating ourselves, and remembering that even in hard times, we can keep going. And whereas Never Give Up Day is focused on cultivating a mindset of determination to help people get through difficult times and challenges, and whereas Never Give Up Day offers an opportunity to recognize outstanding achievements by individuals facing their challenges with grit and determination. And whereas Never Give Up Day remains relevant for health and social care providing associations, organizations, and charities in their effort to establish a call to action and fundraising activities. And whereas the City of Las Cruces recognizes Never Give Up Day and its positive influence for people across our community, now, therefore, we, the Mayor and City Council of Las Cruces, New Mexico, do hereby proclaim August 18th, 2023 as Never Give Up Day and call upon all citizens of Las Cruces to make this day a springboard for awareness-raising activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the conflict of interest statement. This is where I'll ask if any member of the City Council, City Manager, or any member of the city staff has any known conflict of interest on any item on the agenda.
Mayor, I just want to say, I am on item 7.1. I work for an MSU, so I just want to acknowledge that that conflict exists. I sort of defer to my colleagues on council to see if that's something that I should recuse myself from the deliberations or not. So I defer to you all to that.
Thank you.
Second that, as an NMSU employee. I personally don't perceive any conflict, but defer to my colleagues.
And I am an adjunct instructor at the university as well. I teach a class in the spring, one class, but nonetheless, I have no interest in this particular item on 7.1, and nor do I believe either of you do. So, okay, so that takes care of the conflict of interest statement. So now we're going to go to public participation. This is where members can speak to the public for a total of 7 minutes. 3 minutes on any issue that you'd like, 4 minutes total on an item on the agenda. We just ask that it not be pertaining to anything that's pending litigation. And if you have to say something or you want to speak on something that's before the council on the agenda, please let us know so the council does not respond to you. We won't be able to take provide any comments if you do speak on something that's on the agenda. So I usually start on my left and I usually start on the first row. So I'll start with the first row, Chaplain Orvis. Just need you to state your name, please.
How do you do it, everybody? My name is Lawrence Orvis, O-R-V-I-S. I was the chairman of the Veterans Advisory Board 5 years in a row out of the 8, and now Karen Woods has that position. Now, Karen has asked me to come before you and explain a couple things that are really prepared. Now, we have a young girl that died in the parking lot of the Veterans Memorial Park. And I understand there's been a lot of people talking back and forth, what's the best? And I understand that they agreed to have a small tree along with something small as remembrance in the new parking lot to be over the north wall. And I just wanted to point out and make this point very clear that this is Veterans Memorial Park. We don't want to suggest that this will be turned into someday down the road any kind of cemetery. I think everybody has to agree to that. They have enough of that. And if they still want to have in the parking lot a small tree along with a small headstone, if you haven't, but nothing in the Veterans Memorial Park. That's all I have to say, everybody. I'd like to answer any of your questions if you have it.
Chaplain Orvis, we can't ask questions of council. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Just
That's
here
all
to, I'll probably respond after a few other, I'm sure there's some other veterans that wish
Very
to
good.
say a few words.
Thank you all for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for, again, and thank you for your service. Okay, so there's no one in the second row. How about third row? Fred?
Good afternoon. My name is Fred Huff. I've spoke before you before concerning the Burn Lake issues. This is a totally different issue today, and it's about agenda item 9.2, and I saw that there's no public comment available on this one, and this is about using the vouchers for the landlords. And so I'm assuming that it's okay to talk about it here.
No, sir. We don't have any public comment on that.
None at all whatsoever?
No, that's.
That
it's-
sure
it's a-
seems odd that
Yeah.
you're trying to force these landlords to do something and you're not allowing any input from the public. That just seems really odd.
Yeah, that's the specific rules on that. Now, in 2 weeks, it'll come to the agenda, and then you can have comment on it. But on this particular item, it's not meant to have any public comment on this.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, so that's still the third row. Anyone else? How about fourth row? Rod? Just need you to state your name, please.
My name is Rod Gajewski. I'm the adjutant for Purple Heart Las Cruces, and I wanted to just mention to the council that today is National Purple Heart Day, and the city is a Purple Heart City, and it's the first Purple Heart City in the state of New Mexico, much to Santa Fe's chagrin. And we have signs throughout the city that recognizes us as a Purple Heart City. And we have a Purple Heart monument within the park. And I just wanted to say that today is our special day. Thank you.
Rod, can you do me a favor? You know what a Purple Heart is. I do. I'm sure several members do. But for those members of the public who aren't exactly sure what Purple Heart means, would you mind just sharing that with us, please?
Well, George Washington started the Purple Heart by giving a purple ribbon to individuals during the Revolutionary War who had meritorious service or who were wounded in combat. In 1932, Douglas MacArthur made a proclamation within Congress that made it an official medal to be received for anyone that received wounds or was killed in action. We had this retroactive then for those individuals that were in World War I. We had Colonel Roach, and most of you know who Paul Roach is. His father received a Purple Heart, and a couple others from this city by having the proper records. So since 1932, within the confines of Doña Ana County and the Las Cruces, we have over 250 Purple Heart recipients. Excuse me. You know, I really, the city and you as the mayor have honored us as Purple Heart veterans, and we appreciate that. We don't support the vote that was recently with allowing the monument in the park, but understand that you have that right in spite of the fact that there was a resolution that clearly states what should be in the park and what shouldn't be. But today is a special day. It is National Purple Heart Day. We have Lawrence Orvis is a Purple Heart recipient. I am, and I don't know, I haven't looked behind me. I don't know if there's any other Purple Heart recipients, but we serve with pride and distinction. We appreciate it.
Rod, let me just say, thank you for that. And the bottom line is those who are recipients of the Purple Heart basically gave a part of themselves, left it on the battlefield. And for that, we want to thank you for your service, and we want to I want to stand an ovation for you and Chaplain Orvis and the others in our city and community for their service and those who did receive the Purple Heart. So thank you very much for all that you've done.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was fourth row. Anyone else on the fourth row? How about the fifth row? No? Sixth row? One.
Mayor, Councilor, Juan Garcia. ¿Cuánto más sufrimiento para que haya cambio? How much more suffering must we endure before we see change? This is from the owner of Primo's Tire Repair Shop on Picacho. This after 4 vandal attacks and thousands of dollars in material and time losses. Very limited English, frustrating and infuriating. Hardworking man attempting to earn an honest living, victimized by the Las Cruces criminal element. ¿Cuánto más? How much more? Police reports filed. Councilor for District 2 running for re-election, quoted in the bulletin. The City Council must address the root causes of our most pressing crime and public safety challenges by investing in public health approaches to interrupt cycles of trauma and addiction. If mental health and drug addiction is so bad in this community, why aren't you demanding the governor change course and instead invest in a local mental and addiction treatment center? Why do we need 4 abortion clinics? You blame the DA or Judge Goldbaum or other social issues, never the criminal. No mention of personal accountability and responsibility or consequences for criminal behavior or toughening current laws. Consider pointing at the state representatives and senators who have adopted an in-the-bunker mentality, avoiding the issue, while you focus on interrupting the cycles of trauma. Cuanto más, the grassroots Las Cruces Hall of Shame list of forgotten victims stands at about 84. This is not even the tip of the victims. This is not from police reports. These are actual real people that have been impacted. Will fixing the cycle of trauma give results in 6 months or another election cycle? And how many more times will Primo's Tire Repair Shop or Carlos or Cesar's be broken into before we see change? Or how many small businesses will close? Same question, ¿cuánto más? Albuquerque Journal, 5 August, Sidney Wilson, fatally shot when she confronted a group of teens about her stolen car and called 911 to report seeing her stolen car. It was the 4th time Wilson called 911. Wilson was frustrated with the lack of help from police after tracking the car for days, watching a bunch of young kids. A 13-year-old thug shot and killed this 23-year-old lady who was trying to recover what was stolen from her. How soon before we see this type of frustration spill into the streets of Las Cruces? Same question. ¿Cuánto más? Thank you.
Rod, I'm sorry. We gave you your time. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll do that. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I should have caught that myself. So what Rod was saying, one of our own is a Purple Heart recipient, Mr. Larry Nichols, Director of Community Development. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Rod. Anyone else on the 6th row?
Hello, Council and Mayor. I'm Rick Renault. I just have some brief remarks. One is I was looking into ranked choice voting so I could get some insights. And I went to fairvote.org and I scrolled down the front page and there's a picture of you guys on fairvote.org. You know, so I was thinking about conflict of interest. I was a federal supervisor at White Sands, and man, conflict of interest, even in appearance. If you're 900 miles away from the contractor, they would say, you're pretty darn close, and throw it out. So, more on this, on the conflict of interest. Is this your first meeting, city council meeting? Anyway, above your picture it says, lowers the barrier to entry for women and candidates of color. What barrier? I've lived here for 60 years. I worked at White Sands for 30 years. I was a supervisor for the last 15. There's no barriers. You just go there and work and produce. You know, and one more thing. Diversity is our strength. No, it's not. Unity is. And when we have a team taking apart a missile, an explosive, we don't care what color they are. So anyway, getting back to this, was the city council paid for being on this page? Well, what was the arrangement? What was the this for that for you guys to be here? Just wondering, I wanted to give you an issue. In light of the fact that you guys are kind of taunting us, see you at the ballot box. What do you guys know? We need the cheat sheet. I talked to the candidate that I'm saying too much, that you ran against 3 years ago, Councilor Pencomo. And it was about 3 years out, I talked to him, and he was just saying that it was you and him, then all of a sudden there's a third candidate, a liberal candidate, and he was just going, I wonder why they did that. So, if you could pass that cheat sheet to us, that would work too. So anyway, thank you.
And Rick, be more than happy to address that. If you want to give that to the city clerk, you drop me an email. I don't know what picture you're talking about.
This is on fairvote.org.
Yeah,
You
so-
can go on there right now, you guys on the
Okay.
cell phones and all.
But,
go to fairvote.org.
and then-
And scroll about halfway down, and hey, they left you out.
Yeah.
It's just them. Yeah. So I'll send you the email.
Sure.
These guys left you guys
Point of
out.
order, Mayor.
So anyway,
Point of order.
No.
Mayor, I resent the fact that you just called me a cheater. So I would really like us to, Mayor, as the chair of this body, to sort of push back on sentiments like that, because that's absolutely wrong and frankly a lie, and it's slander. So, and I don't need you to comment back. Thank you.
no, there was a second candidate that did come in. That's the fact.
Mr.
So
Renaud.
anyway, thank you. Any more?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so that was sixth row. Anyone else on the sixth? Anyone else on the sixth row? Seventh row. And while she's making her way down here, I'd like to and I know the city manager is going to introduce her more, but I just want to welcome Linda Samples, our new city attorney. So welcome, Linda. That's probably not as raucous as today, but it's okay. There's good. There's good.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, my name is Chris Salter, and I'm retired Army Colonel, Nurse Corps. As the Vice Chair of the Mayor's Veteran Advisory Council and the Military Officers Association representative, I feel I endorse and support the letter from the board. I feel that what I saw on the June City Council was a group of officials making decisions with their heart and emotions, not on fact. In your oath of office, it says that you are to be impartial. I do not believe this was the case. I believe you acted as mother, grandmother, aunt, or whatever. I do not think the City Council should be making decisions upon emotions. It was a tragedy, but you need to look beyond that and look at the facts. even the mayor said that we were setting a precedent by allowing this memorial to go in the park. On the other hand, I feel that the council did not play by their own rules. You allowed Mr. Gonzalez to have his time. Him and his wife were allowed to sit at that table. And then, although everyone else was limited to 2 minutes, he was allowed to get up after every veteran spoke and make some nasty comments. And I know they're coming from his grief. But as an officer, I wanted to lock his heels. I think you need to take a revote on this issue, looking at the documents that support the park, who is to be in that park as a memorial, and not vote with your emotions. I think alternative memorial would be better used as a dedicated shelf in the library tour to children's books, or perhaps an art corner in an elementary school. I don't know what her interests were, but I think that is more appropriate than the memorial in the Veterans Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sauter. Thank you for your service.
Hello, I'm Heidi Blair. I am the CEO and the founder of Transforming Life with Heidi. I'm a new resident here in Las Cruces, and I have a few business cards if anybody would like. Transforming Life with Heidi is a business where I help people identify their growth gaps. And with those growth gaps, we can begin to identify and begin a transformation journey. And I am also a veteran, and I personally do not support a memorial within the Veterans Park.
Thank you. Heidi, thank you, and welcome to Las Cruces. Thank you for your service. Okay, so that's the 7th row. Anyone else on the 7th row? 8th row? Karen, that's you? Yeah.
My name is Karen Woods. I am the current chair of the Veterans Advisory Board, and I am also the president of the United Military Women of the Southwest. A few days ago, I received this email and was asked to read it to y'all, and I agreed. It says, "To whom it may concern, it has come to my attention that there is a proposal before the council that would allow a memorial honoring the memory of a child was run over and subsequently died at Veterans Park. First, let me say that I am a husband, a father, a grandfather, and a great-grandfather, and I love all children. About a year ago, I met an Iraq-Afghanistan vet. In conversation, he found out that my wife and I were responsible for the Bataan Memorial Statue, as well as the Vietnam Honors Never Thank Memorial. Excuse me. With tears in his eyes, he shared his personal story. After his tour of duty, when discharged, he couldn't find a job and had problems at home. He became homeless, began drinking, and finally decided to end it all. However, to make a statement, he went to Veterans Park with suicide on his mind. As he walked the memorials, he slowly began to see the logic of life. As he sat on the granite stones at the Vietnam Memorial and the faces of all New Mexican men and women who have given the ultimate sacrifice, a light bulb went off in his mind. And right then and there, he had decided to give purpose for their deaths. In my opinion, a memorial to a deceased child who has died in the park would have just increased his anguish adding more fuel to the fire, and would have ended his life. He exemplifies the purpose of the park and all Veterans Park around the country. They bring closure and meaning to all veterans and their family. Again, my opinion, a memorial of a deceased child at the Veterans Memorial Park would be the same as a missing child memorial at the tomb of a known soldier in Washington. Both are tragic and cannot be forgotten, just not together in the same park. We have many parks in Las Cruces. Why not give our children their just due, designating and naming a park to honor all our children? Thank you. Signed, J. Doe Martinez. To last, Mayor, one word, my condolences. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for that, and again, thank you for your service. Anyone else on the 8th row?
Good afternoon. Miss Bencomo, ¿me puede traducir, por favor? Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Carla Martínez. Mi hija y yo tenemos un negocio, KL Custom Gift and Cake Shop en Bali y Picacho.
Good afternoon. My name is Carla Martinez. My daughter and I own a business on Valley and Picacho.
Hace un mes y medio, casi dos, fue vandalizado. Y estuvimos un mes aproximadamente con plywood en las ventanas, lo cual afectó bastante a nuestro negocio porque pensaba la gente que estábamos cerrados definitivamente.
About 2 months ago, we were vandalized at our business, and we lasted with plywood on our windows for about a month, which really impacted the sales of our business because people believed we were closed.
Venimos hace 3 semanas con ustedes y obtuvimos una buena respuesta. Entendí que es importante estar aquí porque de verdad, gracias a un mal suceso.
Perdón, déjeme digo eso. She said we came here a few weeks ago and we had a good response. It taught me the importance of being here.
Gracias a ese lamentable suceso pudimos conocer a personas que sin tener ninguna relación con nosotros y sin ser parte ni siquiera del ramo en el que nosotros trabajamos, ellos se pusieron en contacto, ellos nos han apoyado y gracias a ellos hemos podido subsistir, que es la coalición de conservadores, a lo cual estoy muy, muy agradecida. Gracias.
Thanks to that, we were able to meet a lot of people who've supported us. The Coalition of Conservatives in Action have really supported us through this.
Y el departamento de policía también, ellos han estado pendientes, ellos han estado vigilantes.
And the police department has also been vigilant with us.
El mayor acudió a nuestra tienda, lamentablemente no estábamos, pero él fue el mismo día que nosotros venimos.
The mayor did go visit us. We weren't there unfortunately, but he did go visit us.
Tenemos una plática pendiente con usted, Bencomo, que sé que la vamos a tener.
We have a pending conversation with Councilor Bencomo that I know we'll have.
Y solo estoy aquí para decir gracias y para decir que falta mucho por hacer, que son muchos los negocios afectados, que mis vecinos que tienen negocios no quieren hacer nada, no quieren ni siquiera hacer reporte porque tienen miedo.
And we know that there's a lot of work to do, and I'm happy to be here doing that work. And we know that my neighbors are feeling it too, and that they often are too scared to even report situation.
Sí, y quiero pedir que ustedes como líderes de nosotros, como nuestros representantes, nos digan qué podemos hacer como dueños de pequeños negocios. Yo estoy aquí representando a la parte hispana que viene a este país a luchar por un mejor futuro.
I want to come here and ask all of you as our leaders what any guidance you can give us, our small business, what we can do. I'm here representing the Hispanic community who has come here to do better for our families.
¿Y qué podemos hacer en unión con ustedes? ¿A dónde podemos ir? ¿Cómo podemos reclamar nuestros derechos? Y hacer una unión con ustedes, no una pelea, una unión con ustedes que nos guíen y que nos digan a dónde ir, qué hacer, y yo estoy dispuesta a hacerlo con mi familia.
And I want And I want to know what we can do to fight for our rights. I want to work together with you. I don't want to fight with you.
Díganos qué hacer de verdad. Yo sé que ustedes llegaron ahí gracias a las personas que votan por todos ustedes y que ustedes llegaron ahí para poder pelear por los derechos de los que no podemos estar ahí enfrente. Pero sé que si nos unimos como ciudad y como país, podemos hacer algo. Podemos luchar juntos y podemos ayudar a que este país crezca y a que Las Cruces vuelva a ser lo que un día fue, una ciudad tranquila y digna para que nuestros niños crezcan. Gracias.
Please help us. People, we know you are there because people voted for you and you're there fighting for us. Help our country be better and help the city of Las Cruces be a calmer place like it used to be.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias. Okay, there was someone else. Okay, there you are.
That's a hard act to follow. Good afternoon. I'm Tammy Pickering, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Council. I appreciate that you allow us to come before you and bring our concerns. For several months now, I have watched and listened to your reactions to the stories of crime in our city. I have heard 3 of you say that the issue is with the DA. And my first question is, have you talked to the DA about the issues our city is facing? It seems at the very least, a conversation would be in order. Well, I have talked to the DA, and he is most definitely not the issue. In fact, many of the crimes that plague our city would never even go before him because they are petty misdemeanors and municipal matters. Vandalism, shoplifting, graffiti, criminal trespass, and other property crimes are violations of city ordinances. They are also against the law, but first and foremost, they are considered a municipal violation. You are the ones who enact the ordinances, and you have heard us talk about consequences. I found it interesting that at least 2 of you have talked about how jail is not the answer. Then what is? Perhaps if the ordinance had other consequences spelled out, judges would have other options. And let's take, for example, the city ordinance on graffiti. Whoever commits graffiti vandalism may be required to pay a fine up to $500 or spend 90 days in jail, or may be required as a condition of probation or a deferred or suspended sentence to perform mandatory community service with a continuous period following conviction, and or to clean up, repair, or replace the defaced real or personal property, and or to make restitution to the property owner for the cost of damages and restoration, and, if they're a minor, to attend family counseling. It is interesting to note that this is the only ordinance that has other consequences when probation or a deferred suspended sentence is issued. Perhaps the other ordinances should have similar wording. The municipal system is police prosecuted, which means that the police bring the charges and the judges determine the sentence. To whom do our municipal judges answer when repeat offenders continue to terrorize and degrade the safety of the citizens of our city? I don't know. Do you? Thank you.
So Tammy, thank you for that information. I would actually like to have a copy of that. But getting back to your question, who the municipal judge answers to is to the public. The public elects, in this case, Judge Goldbaum, and that's who she's accountable to. And she has the authority, when the police arrest them for these petty misdemeanors, to just let them go. And I have tried throughout many months in dealing with our local media, not the Bulletin, but the other, and it just fell on deaf ears. I don't like talking like that about our other local newspaper. Maybe it's changed because they have a new person in charge, but the previous people, didn't want to hear it. Because that's what it takes. It takes you, many of you here in this room, and council doesn't like to see it either.
Right.
But it has to change. But I'd like to see that a little bit, and we'll put our new city attorney to work and see if that's something there that we can see what we can do to expand on that. So thank you for bringing that forward.
Correct.
Anyone else on my left? Okay, I want to address very briefly the questions that was brought before and just so for the members of the public to understand, a while back there was a tragedy at Veterans Park. A small toddler, I don't know, 2 or 3 years old, was accidentally run over, backing up. I believe the father actually backing up. How tragic. And unfortunately, the child died. And so the parents wanted to have some type of a memorial there on the current Veterans Park, the boundaries. Many of you may not be aware that we are building a parking lot, a large parking lot, because during many of the great events that we have honoring our veterans, it gets so many cars that they start parking on Roadrunner Parkway, which is technically illegal. And so we're building another parking lot, just a parking lot. And there's going to be some trees, but for the most part, it's just parking. It was there that it was discussed to put a park bench and a tree honoring the little girl who lost her life. Now, I understand that it's very disheartening when you feel that you pass this. Well, I received this letter I'm looking at. And let me just clarify. So we have resolutions and we have ordinances. So an ordinance is the city's way of saying this is the law. And no, we can't bend that. But a resolution is a policy. For example, the city has a resolution that we will do just city services. But we've had residents who live just feet away from the city boundaries, and we allow them to use our utilities. That's just what neighbors do. The policy says we're not to do that, but council can override that and allow that to happen, which we continue to do. And so I understand that it gets frustrating. I can tell you this, probably back in 2012, I was fortunate to be appointed by Senator Udall at that time to be an advisor to the FEMA director, Mr. Craig Fugate. And I would go to Washington every 3 months. It was fun. It was a lot of work. And I'd meet with some others, and we'd come up with a policy regarding the floods situation. But in the end, we were an advisory board. Did Mr. Fugate take what we came up with? No, he didn't. He said, thank you. I know you worked a year on this, and I will take it under advisement, but ultimately, that was his call. And so what I'm trying to say is, yes, this was a very emotional issue, but just think once, if another parent happens to see this park bench, and the discussion starts happening, and it's just a reminder that children, they can move so fast. You think you've got them for 1 second, and next thing you know, they're gone. You don't know where they went. And so if that saves a life, then that park bench was all the better. And so what I'm trying to get at is, we're not talking about the Veterans Park, we're talking about the auxiliary parking lot, a park bench. And so this council does have that authority. We appreciate the veterans, and please, I work with my colleagues. We recognize we would not have this great country without each and every one of the veterans. And we thank them all the time. We may not necessarily say it, but believe me, in all the actions and the things that we think about, we do. And so I don't want you to think that just because we don't support that one, by allowing this, that this was, it wasn't meant to be anything disrespectful to you, our veterans. It was meant to serve as a reminder and to this tragedy, and we hope it never, ever happens again. So I just want to tell you thank you for listening to me and allowing us to say this as a rebuttal. Of course, this just comes from me, but I believe I speak for my colleagues, because I know that they think very highly of veterans, extremely highly. Many of my colleagues have children that are in the military or veterans, past veterans. So thank you for that. So I'm going to continue on my right. And no one on the first row. On the second row, anyone? Third row.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Stiles, and I'm a resident of Las Cruces, and I live in the Metro Verde area. This is in the East Mesa, and in this part of the city is in Council District 5. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I've been in Las Cruces for about 4 years and have enjoyed riding my bicycle in the area. I describe myself as a recreational bicyclist and ride not only for my enjoyment, but as part of my health regimen. Excuse me. Last year, I logged about 1,500 miles on my bicycle, which most of those miles were around home. In addition, I volunteer as a mechanic at the Hub Bicycle Shop and also hold the position of board member at large of the nonprofit organization Velo Cruces. I am here today to discuss the conditions, as I see them, for bicyclists and the pedestrian safety and ease of travel. Because of my location, I ride on streets and roads that fall under the jurisdiction of the city, county, and state, which give me an opportunity to observe a variety of traffic and road conditions in the area. Knowing the council is not responsible for all conditions, I have seen that there is a need for all jurisdictions to work together to ensure bicyclists and pedestrians can use the road with the same degree of confidence no matter where they are in the valley and the roads are safe for them. Overall, my experience has been that most drivers show respect to bicyclists no matter what the road conditions are, and I personally have had few experiences where I feel my safety was in danger. I wrote this the day before I almost had an incident with a school bus, but for the most part. One factor in my favor is that I have the flexibility to pick the time and the route. To make it a safer environment for myself, I have found routes that have lighter traffic and adequate roads. Some of the routes in my file are for Sundays or holidays only, because of the direction of traffic makes it much harder and hazardous during weekdays. Riders that use their bicycles to commute to work, schools, or a basic means of transportation cannot be as selective as I and are subject to more traffic and fewer road choices. While I have described my experiences, other bicyclists in parts of the city have been shown the same courtesy on the roads and are more hazardous. I think that we are all aware of the bicycle vehicle collisions that have resulted in fatalities. That's 3 fatalities of 5 for the state. Because I live in a developing area, it would be hard to conclude that the roads as they are today are the final plan for the city. I can say at this time that there are areas that are dangerous for bicyclists. Some examples are on the Sonoma Ranch Bataan Memorial interchange from there to Northrise. There's no bike lane and there's heavy cross traffic. There are others that I could cite.
Excuse me, sir, I apologize. Our buzzer isn't working, but can you finish up real quick because you've exceeded your 3 minutes. So.
Yep. The need for comprehensive and coordinated planning and action throughout the city to ensure bicyclists have reasonable expectation and safety. Accommodating safety routes with retro construction and new construction for pedestrian and bicycle commuters. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And just curious, where did you move from? You said you just moved here 4 years ago.
I moved here from Phoenix.
Oh, okay. Wow. A little bit cooler here.
Yeah. A
little bit. Hey, those 10 degrees make a big difference. All right, Mr. Wilson.
Hello, Mayor and Council. My name is Donald Wilson, and I have been a bicyclist in this community since I was 4 years old. And I've been in the community since I was 4 years old. So I've been riding the streets of Las Cruces and I'm also a member of Velo Cruces, the organization that Mr. Sty spoke about. I'm a volunteer mechanic with that organization, and I'm also a member of a group called the Vulnerable Road Users of New Mexico. So the goal of these organizations, one of the goals of these organizations, is to see that Las Cruces in the Mesilla Valley builds a reputation as a good place to be a pedestrian or a cyclist. And we're in the process right now of conducting a survey of cyclists, and if there's some way we can work with the city to distribute that survey, we'd be happy to do that. We certainly will share the results with you. The survey seeks to take the temperature of what cyclists and pedestrians feel the community is like in terms of safety factors and design factors, and also seeks to identify areas where there needs to be some attention from the people building the streets to make them safer. The other aspects we're involved in are education. Through the Hub Community Bike Shop, we distribute lights and bright yellow vests to cyclists to help them be more visible and also to comply with local ordinances that require lights at night. And these are things we're trying to do to make the community safer for the cyclists so that people enjoy and can get around the city without necessarily having to be, strapped in a 4,000-pound chunk of metal. So we stand ready to work with the city. I was very pleased to see that the first position that Workforce New Mexico listed today is that active transportation coordinator. We've been dismayed at how difficult it has been for the city to fill that position. I think it's been for 4 years, that position's been mostly vacant. And that position, I think, can be key to the city helping work with the cycling community and pedestrian community and the city planning departments to make the community safer for all the people that are using the streets, not just the people in cars. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don. Good seeing you. Okay, so that was third row. Anyone on the fourth row? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, city councilors, first of all, thank you all very much for your service to our city. My wife and I have lived in 8 different states across the country.
Can you state your name, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. My name is David Steele, and I live in Council District 6. My wife and I have lived in 8 different states across the country. When we retired a few years ago, we could have gone anywhere. We chose to come to Las Cruces, and that has been a very good decision for us. That said, one disappointment we have about our adopted hometown is the status of animal welfare in our community. Too many people here think of their companion animals as disposable property. They take the label owner to heart. My wife and I have had 13 dogs over the course of our 50-plus year marriage, and we haven't owned a single one of them. We've been their guardian. The intake rate at our community shelter is staggeringly high. And data presented at the Animal Service Center Board meeting in July shows that that rate is increasing. And so too is the kill rate. You'll notice I'm not sanitizing that with the word euthanasia. It's killing. Thus far in 2023, we have killed over 500 animals, most of them adoptable. That is nearly 3 times the kill rate for all of 2022. On August 5th, for example, just a few days ago, 10 dogs were put to death at the shelter for lack of space to care for them. For lack of space, they lost their lives. I urge the City Council to take animal welfare seriously. For example, you could make sure that the Animal Service Center has the resources it needs to offer a nationally competitive salary for a veterinarian, for veterinarians that they're looking for currently. You could work with groups like the Animal Advocates for Change and others in updating and improving our animal ordinances based on best practices and based on evidence-based outcome measures. You could develop policies requiring that the right to keep companion animals carries with it the obligation to spay and neuter them, to reduce the numbers finding themselves homeless and in needs of shelter care. If you don't have the stomach for mandates, then come up with incentives that are so attractive that mandates are not required. Thanks to groups like Animal Protection New Mexico, resources are increasingly available in the state to assist people with the cost of these procedures. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Steele. You must have been a Toastmaster because you only had 10 seconds left and you did it.
I'm sorry?
I said you must have been a Toastmaster because you were able to do it in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So thank you for that. But I will tell you that on October 10th, we're going to have a work session on spay and neuter. And I would like to have your contact information because I'm going to be leaving at the end of the year. And one of the things that I really would like to advocate to both my colleagues, but also on the commission, is that we take over the animal services because right now it's really a challenge dealing with the bureaucracy. So if you wouldn't mind leaving your contact information, that would be great. To the city clerk, please. Yes, sir. Thank you. Or you can drop me an email. Either one. Okay, so that was the fourth row. Anyone else on the fourth? And Larry, we're sorry we overlooked your service. I knew you were a Vietnam veteran, first lieutenant. I knew you received the Bronze Star for valor. I forgot that you were a Purple Heart. My apologies. Fifth row, anyone? I'm going to have EFO take you to lunch.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. I just want to take a moment to...
Excuse me, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Sorry, Jim New. And I spent my youth wilding away in swimming pools. I was a swimmer from age 6, participated in competitive swimming, and I rose to compete at the national level. And I say this only to say that I swam in a lot of swimming pools. And the swimming pool that you guys have put in place here in Las Cruces is an amazing facility, and I thank you for doing that for the community.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. That was a long time coming, and huge kudos to our management team and our development staff. That was fifth row. Anyone else on the fifth row? Sixth row? George?
My name is George Pearson. I'm president of the Alameda Depot Neighborhood Association, and I'm presenting this on behalf of the Neighborhood Association. Mayor and city council members, on the eve of yet another cyclist death in Las Cruces streets, we, the Alameda Depot Neighborhood Association, are writing to urge you to commit to creating a Vision Zero action plan. Vision Zero is the strategy to eliminate roadway deaths and severe injuries while increasing safety, health, equitable mobility for all. No matter what side of town we live on, whether we rent or own, walk or ride or drive, we all deserve safe streets. When we push our strollers, ride our bikes, walk our dogs, we have the right to be safe. But too many of our residential streets are designed for motorized vehicles only. This is harmful to the people who actually live on these roads, ride on them, and walk alongside them. Last year, after more than 2 years of advocacy, the city implemented a road diet on Alameda Boulevard when it resurfaced this historic street. People report that it feels much safer. It's easier to cross, more pleasant to ride on, and nicer to walk along. This road diet, which reduced traffic speed to be closer to the mandated 30 miles per hour, was an important step in the right direction. We know that the problem is much larger. This year, New Mexico is once again listed as the deadliest state for pedestrians by the Governor's Highway Safety Association. As a community, we need to act now to prevent avoidable deaths. As councilors and the mayor, we urge you to require city agencies to adopt a safe system approach, which requires both human mistakes and human vulnerability, and designs a system to protect everyone. Join Albuquerque and other cities in making an official commitment to a Vision Zero goal to achieve zero traffic fatalities among all road users, including people walking, biking, using transit, and drivers within a set time frame. Create a multidisciplinary Vision Zero task force, encouraging meaningful cooperation and collaboration among relevant government agencies and community stakeholders to establish a framework for multiple stakeholders to set shared goals and focus on coordination and accountability. Apply for a 2024 U.S. Department of Transportation Safe Streets for All grants to help fund the Vision Zero efforts, and to commit to both an equitable approach to Vision Zero by establishing inclusive and representative process, as well as equitable outcomes by ensuring measurable benchmarks to provide safe transportation options for all road users in all parts of the city. So thank you for this. I have this and some supporting material to submit.
Okay, you want to give that to the city clerk? Thank you, George. Okay, so that was the 6th row. Anyone else? How about 7th row?
City councilors and mayor, I'm Sarah Smith from the New Mexico Freedoms Alliance. Today I want to tell you about crime in my neighborhood. I live in Mayor Pro Tem Gandara's district, and my neighbor Carol had her car stolen a couple weeks ago. Carol is in her mid-80s, and she lives alone. She has trouble walking and uses a walker to get around. Carol doesn't have any family here, and she's on Meals and Wheels and other senior services provided by the city. A couple weeks ago when Carol came home, she left her garage door open to let things cool off because it was so hot. Sometime between 5 and 6:30 p.m., someone stole Carol's car out of her garage. Of course, she called the police, but they are so overloaded they did not arrive to her house until 11:30 at night when she was already in bed. Carol was aghast that someone would be so brazen as to steal her car in broad daylight from inside her garage. She has already been dealing with the fact that a speeding car hit her rock wall and damaged her home a few months ago, and now she has had her car stolen. Over the next week, the Doña Ana County Sheriff's Office had a report of an abandoned car, and it turned out to be Carol's car out of gas. So thankfully, she was able to recover her car. But the thieves damaged the front of her car and stole everything she had inside. They stole her garage door opener, they stole her bag with her Bibles, they even stole her walker and her handicap placard. So now she has to get all of these replaced in order to be able to do simple everyday things, such as getting groceries or going to the doctor. Carol is one more example of the vulnerable people here in Las Cruces who are suffering from the increased crime. Please do whatever you can to stop the ongoing crime in our community and to protect people like Carol from more attacks. Besides increasing the number of police, please advocate for our legislature to enact laws that will allow our criminal justice system to function instead of continuing to catch and release. Will you send an official resolution to the legislature and governor to ask for this? It's too bad Senator Steinborn already left. The legislature could also do things such as increase the pay for our district attorney's office and police officers, which would allow us to recruit and maintain more people in these important positions. Did you know that our district attorney's office is under the same pay scale as counties with far lower caseloads? This is true for Albuquerque as well, and this contributes to the fact that our district attorney's office has been running with only 50% capacity, 50% of their needed staff for years at this point. Please prioritize the use of our valuable taxpayer funds towards increasing mental health services here in Las Cruces, while also ensuring that our courts are able to hold people accountable for their crimes. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, anyone else on the 7th row? How about the 8th row? Last. Anyone else on my right? Okay, well, that will conclude our public participation. Thank you very much for many of you coming out here today to share with us your comments and concerns. So now we're going to go to the acceptance of the agenda.
So moved.
Seconded, Corin.
Motion made by Councilor Graham, second by Councilor Corrin. Oh, I'm sorry. Motion made by Councilor Beta, second by Councilor Corrin to accept the agenda as presented. Teresa?
This is on a motion to accept the agenda as presented. Councilor Abeta?
Yes.
Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Bencomo is absent. Councilor Coran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores is absent. Councilor Gondra?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to item 7.1, which is Resolution 24-018. I need a motion and a second.
To consider 7.1?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Councilor Corrin, second by Councilor Abeta, and it looks like Elizabeth Teeters from the city will start off the presentation. Elizabeth, let me ask you this. Were you going to go right to a presentation, or did you want the university to start? I know they had spoke with me earlier. They had some concerns. Did you want them to say a couple things first?
Mayor, yeah, I'll go ahead and let Scott Eschenbrenner come up and.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Scott Eschenbrenner, and I'm Special Assistant to the President of New Mexico State University, and I'm honored to be here today. We're here to discuss a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding pertaining to a possible utilization of a tax increment for the development and possible annexation of select property owned by the Regents of New Mexico State University. While I was prepared and still can to make a presentation to you today, it's come to light for us at NMSU that there's probably a few more questions and some other things that we ought to be considering, and I know that we haven't brought this to a work session. So it'd be my recommendation or my request to this council to possibly look at deferring this item, take this to a work session so that we can make sure that all the counselors are fully briefed on what we're doing, and that I'd stand for any questions if you feel like that's appropriate action.
You know, Mr. Eschenbrenner, I appreciate that very much. You know, one of the things that this council has been really forthright in is making sure that the public is aware of any situations that come up, and I think this just means so much to hear from the university that there are some things that still need to be hammered out. But more importantly, I think a work session is an excellent idea. That way the council can have various items, questions that they will be brought up, but more importantly, that the public can have access to what exactly this is, because you know, the university and the city have always worked well together, and I'm sure that we will continue to do so. As you can tell, the three-fourths of three of the council members have some huge connection to the university, right. And our city wouldn't be as prosperous without the university and, of course, White Sands. So thank you very much for that. I would support that, and if that were the case, I would ask, if I can't make a motion, but I can second, if someone would like to make a motion to table.
I'll make a motion to table.
Okay.
Second, Gondara.
Okay, motion made by Councilor Abeta, second by Mayor Pro Tem Gondara, that we table this. Teresa?
This is on a motion to table item 7.1. Councilor Abeta?
Yes.
Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Bencomo?
Yes.
Councilor Coran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores is absent. Councilor Gondara?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And so
Thank you,
we'll
Mayor.
try to we'll work with your office, with Elizabeth, to figure out what would be the good time to have the work session. But again, thank you very much, and please give my regards to President Gouge. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item is 7.2, Council Bill number 24-001, ordinance number 3043.
Move to approve, Graham. Second, Abeta.
Motion made by Councilor Graham, second by Councilor Beta. And our city clerk is going to discuss. Looks like we're going to get our money's worth out of city clerk.
You sure are. Oops. Okay, Mayor, City Council, the ordinance today is regarding the Convention and Visitor Bureau Advisory Board and a quick name change to it that we're proposing. So the NMSA 1978, Section 3-38-22 establishes the collection of lodger's tax
as well as the creation of a board. Now, that board will advise on the expenditure of the lodgers tax funds for advertising, publicizing, and promoting for tourist attractions. So this is a very simple amendment for you guys. We're just proposing that the Convention and Visitors Bureau Advisory Board, its name changed to Las Cruces Lodgers Tax Advisory Board to be consistent with our state statute. And these are your council options.
Questions? Okay, seeing no questions, how about members of the public? Okay, seeing none. Teresa?
This is on a motion to approve ordinance number 3043. Councilor Beta?
Yes.
Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Bencomo?
Yes.
Councilor Curran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores is absent. Councilor Gondeta?
Yes.
And Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Christine. So we have no board appointments, so we're going to go to notice of proposed ordinances. There will be no public discussion. A councilor may ask staff for clarification on the proposed ordinance. First one is item 9.1, Council Bill number 24-002, ordinance number 3044.
Bring it forward.
Okay, bring it forward. Is Sarah Gonzalez here? She's back? Well, that's good. All right. Item number 2, Council Bill number 24-003, ordinance number 3045.
Bring it forward, please.
Bring it forward. I saw Natalie back there. So item number 9.3, Council Bill number 24-004, ordinance number 3046.
Bring it forward.
Bring it forward. Okay. And now we go to City Council Member Board reports and comment. I have none, so I'll turn it over to Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. Been a busy couple of weeks since we've met. We had a Health Policy Review Committee August 2nd at 3 p.m. The item on the agenda was cannabis use and youth. We had several partners in our community, our School Health Advisory Council, Representative Amy Himmelite, the UP Coalition, Jessica Garcia, the cannabis industry, with folks from that industry there. We had a great conversation, lots of concern given the data specific to the YRS. Data specifically that nicotine is really, and vaping is a big deal for our students in community, and it's quite frankly an epidemic. And so, and cannabis use, and just trying to pinpoint where kids are getting cannabis. We talked a lot about the lock boxes, talked about how we would use our cannabis revenue. There was a commitment to continuing to meet, to break out into a subcommittee, and then to come back to our Health Policy Review Committee in October. So we will be meeting specifically to address sort of some underlying issues and kind of how we move forward. But there's, again, deep commitment to, obviously, to provide programming around prevention, intervention, and treatment as it relates to cannabis and youth, specific to density. I'm also pointing out, EFO, I'd hope that our partners at community development and maybe P&Z, and there's a number of data points and just information in general from people from public health and that have a great deal of knowledge. And I'd like to invite our planning and zoning members. I don't know how that will play out because it's at middle of the afternoon, and typically the P&Z meets in the evening time. But I'd like to offer that to not only staff, but our planning and zoning members. And then next, we met for public safety. A big chunk of our conversation was the contract for OIR, and we're moving in hopefully updating that contract to have them provide, alongside our police department, community meetings. We are also spoke very specifically. We had a person from the Lifesaver program came to speak in regards to the program. It's sort of a battery, like a program to track our folks who are wanderers, specifically, could be children that are disabled, but also our seniors that are experiencing dementia and Alzheimer's. This is a program out of the Sheriff's Department. I've been really open about our issues in my family, specifically to my mom, and that was great information to be able to have. And I thought a great program. It's being operated out of the Sheriff's Department. They have quite a bit of funding from the Alzheimer's Association to help. I don't recall, Councilor Abeyta, they have 20 or 30 folks, I think, on this list that the man 46. Manages. 40? 46. 46. And great program that if folks in the city are interested, you can work directly with them. And I'm sorry I don't have the contact information. They gave us so many things, right? So many leaflet pamphlets and pens with numbers, and I don't have that currently, but I bet our city clerk, Christine, because she's organized that way, has it and could probably provide us with that number. And then let's see, lastly, I met with our federal why am I spacing it? MMO partners, help me. Our federal lobbyists, yes, I couldn't get that name, the lobbyists, and they've been busy really advocating for the city, and we have fared well with over $10 million, close to $11 million. We've been able to draw from our representatives and senators specific to New Mexico and our area. Some great things and projects that have been included, like our Lift Up Anti-Poverty Program, our Project Light Construction, New Mexico Gun Crime Center, Narcotic Analyzer and Awareness Program, and another, which is very much needed, is our Boys and Girls Club, which are, they're building a new facility, and they certainly deserve it, and they're in this point where they're raising funds. There's a number of requested items specifically, and a lot of that for me was infrastructure, looking at the airport, the West Mesa Road going into Santa Teresa, of course our Project Light and our Lift Up programming more specifically. And so I think, Mayor, it was, like I said, busy for me, but loving every minute of it. So I'm going to turn it back over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilor Flores is absent. Councilor Coran.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to give a couple updates and a couple other notes, but first, I just wanted to welcome back NMSU students, and the semester starts next Wednesday, so before our next meeting. Students, I think, move into the dorms on the 11th, and everyone else who doesn't move into the dorms is around, and we'll be cracking the books next Wednesday. And I want to thank the city communication staff for working on a special sort of collaborative project with the NMSU communication staff to make sure that our city is welcoming students as well. So I look forward to the new semester and meeting the new students. The TSI PRC meeting, last week, we had a really interesting conversation thanks to Angela Armijo and the community development folks. We talked about our flood insurance, federal flood insurance program. I didn't know that the extraordinary process that it is to have community ratings for our flood insurance. The city of Las Cruces is really diligent in seeking a better, sort of lower ranking in their federal flood insurance, which results in lower flood insurance premiums for the people of Las Cruces. Right now, the city is preparing for an October audit that will examine what level of funding, what level of sort of insurance premiums the residents who live in flood zones have to pay. Right now, our rating is at a 7, and I think we are tied with Albuquerque, crushing the county. Not that everything has to be a competition, but just to put it out there, the city of Las Cruces is, especially the community development department, is looking out for us and really working hard to figure out ways to improve our federal flood insurance program and crush the others. And I love to see it. So we heard a lot about what's happening with that, and you all will be seeing some ordinances specific that will help us increase our inputs and score on that community rating system. Improve it. What? It's 10 to 1. So we're 7 out of 10. We would like to be 1, but there are a lot of aspects that relate to things like public lands, ordinances, things that we in some cases have ability to work on, and other cases are determined by the state. So they're really putting together our best case to move in that direction toward 1, which is the ideal. Also, I wanted to just quickly touch on the ASCMV board. To the point of the public commenter, we did have a really low live release rate, which is the inverse of euthanasia rate, or the kill rate. At 50% of the animals coming into the shelter are leaving alive. So that's a very grim statistic. I would say that the city has been making substantial efforts. We've increased in the last 2 years. I think we've increased the funding for the Animal Services Center out of the city budget by something like 35%. The staff are working really diligently, and I appreciate Barbara Bencomo and her leadership in this to work on alternative funding streams and making sure that the city is able to secure increased capacity for spay and neuter. But it is not good, and I really urge folks to think about, helping support your neighbors, keep their pets, and making sure that they're able to stay home. So that's all the news that I have, but I did want to sort of speak on something that I think there are a lot of public comments that meant a lot, but I just want to speak to the idea that our values or our emotions are in contrast with those of veterans. And I want to say, as someone who grew up, my godfather was the commander at the VFW. I grew up in the VFW and the Legion. Both of my grandparents, my grandfather served in the military, both Army veterans. My uncle served in Vietnam, my uncle/godfather. And so I just want to speak to the idea of what values mean, and to suggest that the values of veterans are exclusive of valuing a life lost and recognizing the importance of grieving to a family. I think certainly that's not within the realm of values that I learned with my family of veterans who served both in action and not. So I really want to say, serving with emotions, I carry the emotions that my veteran family members gave to me, the values that they shared with me, and those are part of how I serve in public. And so I just want to challenge our folks to think more broadly about what it means to be a veteran and what kind of values veterans might be carrying in their hearts. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Bencomo?
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Councilor, for those beautiful words. I really wanted to thank Mr. Harold Morris for coming and singing that Sam Cooke song here today, and just for his general presence here. He's a really powerful person, and I was very honored to present him with that proclamation. I wanted to thank our Chief Story, for just sitting, I think he sat down with all of us, but for sitting down with me and just talking through District 4 and hotspots and the interventions that they're working on and everything we can work on together. So thank you, Chief, very much for your collaboration. I also wanted to note that I visited 828 Studios over the last week. They're now on Miranda, which is now in District 4, and they purchased that big Baptist church that had been empty for many years, and they're keeping the facade of it, the outside. They're keeping the sanctuary they're just going to do exciting things, and I'm really excited to be in partnership with 828 Studios. I think, for all of the things that get said about our community, there are truly people who are saying, we're going to put our best foot forward, and we're going to invest in the community we say we love, and maybe put our dollars behind that. And so I'm really, really excited. Huge kudos to our economic development department for maintaining and cultivating that relationship. It's really exciting, everything they're planning on doing. I did want to touch on the fire in Albuquerque that is currently happening at the recycling facility. I don't know if you've seen the footage, but it looks just so tragic and awful. I mean, they have really, really dangerous, their air pollution right now is pretty dangerous for everyone in the area. And I just feel like it raises questions. We recently had a landfill fire, even though it's clean fill, completely accidental, right? But it just raises questions about just our waste management and plastics and the dangers they clearly pose to our quality of life. And so I did email this morning just because I'm so curious about our facilities, safety of our facilities, what measures we're taking to make sure we prevent those kinds of tragedies. So I did email Patrick Peck and Adrian Widmer, and I don't know if that would ever perhaps EFO something to come to work session about, just because it's so present and scary. And it made me realize that I don't ask enough certain departments, like what are we missing? What am I not asking? Do you have gaps? Do you have needs? And so just reminded me to be more cognizant and more deliberate about that. And then just lastly, we have a housing meeting coming up next week. We have a utilities board meeting this week, and I think we have a work session at 2 on Thursday, 2 p.m. utilities this Thursday at the utilities, and we're going to be discussing the rate process. Is that right, Counselor? And so if members of the public are interested and curious about learning about how the utility sets rates, I really encourage people to come to that to learn more about that process. And then next week we have a housing meeting at 2 p.m., probably on the second floor here at City Hall. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Councilor Graham?
Thank you. Not too much to report on. Coincidentally, South Central Solid Waste Association Board met last week. I know, we'll get dibsies. And always impressed, particularly with their work culture. Mayor Pro Tem and I were both interested in hearing how they're dealing with the heat, which I'm sure a lot of, that's also a big deal for a lot of our city departments. But I think we were both really gratified to hear how careful they are to make sure that their employees who are outside in this heat that I can't even take walking from the car to City Hall, they're really taking good care of their people, and I was happy to see that. Same thanks to Chief Story for sitting down and accommodating my many questions and postulations on policing. Also, speaking of which, I should have put this one second. Upsetting reading recommendation. I'm reading The Heat Will Kill You First, Life and Death on a Scorched Planet, which is every bit as upsetting as the title would imply. I heard about it on a million podcasts a couple of weeks ago. Spoiler, it's getting hotter and it's really bad for absolutely everybody. But I think reading these things as somebody now serving in city government, I don't know, do you guys do this too? Like anytime you visit another city, even if it's just for funsies, you're like, ooh, I wonder what the zoning is here. Like, are the Yes, I'm like, is this a strong mayor system? Or, you're just like, you totally become a city government geek. So this is how I'm looking at this now. And then finally, it was a lively public comment session. And what I'd like to do is to thank those of you who not just come for public comment, but then come and stay throughout, or even those who don't comment. Hi, Jennifer. But Mr. Pearson, Ms. Pickering, and is that Mr. Pickering? Yes, you. Hi. Yes. So I want to thank those who come not only to share their thoughts, but then actually come and sit through the rest of the work that we do as a government. I appreciate that as someone, up on this side of things. Hi, Eric. You too. So just acknowledging those who kind of, run the marathon here with us and not just the sprint. I appreciate you, even though we don't always agree. So thank you. That's all I've got, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilor Beta.
Thank you. I know that Mayor Pro Tem already talked a little bit about public safety, but I do have Mr. Stephen Dale's information here to share about Project Lightsaber, and his contact is Stephen, it's STEPHEND at donianacounty.org, and he is the contact point for Project Lightsaber. I want to thank Chief Story as well for sitting around with me and chatting about District 2 and then helping set up. I did a police ride-along on Friday with Officer Rivera. I did a swing shift, so got in at 4. We were done by about 1. So it was an interesting look at the district. What I would say, it was a slower night, which I know is a very good thing. But I did get to see Project Light in action, and I did get to have, I think, really wonderful conversation to see with the perspective not only from the districts, but from the officer side of the view. So very much a big thank you to Officer Rivera, who's been with the department for about 2.5 years now and is former military. So thank you. It seems like a long time ago, but July 21st, I was up in Albuquerque for the New Mexico Municipal League resolutions. We approved, it's the second of a 3-stage process with the Municipal League to approve different items that we will push for the legislative session or keep on our just our radar for items, even if they're not germane this year, but to keep them on. Everything ranged from public safety, behavioral health. There is a call and need. One of the things, all of our communities know that there is a need for behavioral health services, and that's something I know my colleagues have advocated for and other communities are advocating for too. So I think we see public safety in very in ways that need to really combine and connect. And so it's not just one thing that's going to solve the problem. There's a lot of different ways that things have to come together, and I think we all know that, and we are trying to deal with those in different sections. I want to thank Christine, who reached out to the League to have IPRA training here for staff. That will be on August 15th at 9 a.m., I believe, here in the chambers for individuals, so I'm sure she's sending out invitations for everybody. And then I also was able to sit down with our federal lobbyists to go over projects and everything. In September, I will be joining the Chamber of Commerce for the second time to go advocate for military affairs. They go every year. We chat with the Pentagon and then chat with our delegation, our federal delegation, really letting them know the importance and needs here of White Sands, Fort Bliss, all those in the area. It's something I've been honored to do in the past and will be very thankful to do in the future. One thing that we do, though, we layer on meetings extra for the city when that comes in so that I am able to maximize that time. So just coordinating with them. So I want to thank the partners for really making the most use of my time while I'm up there so we can do both. So it's a fast schedule, but I enjoy it. And I think that is all for me. So thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Councilor. Okay, City Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. First, I want to introduce two new members of our executive team. First, our City Attorney, Linda Samples, and then our new Parks and Rec Director, Stephen Bingham. And I'll first talk about Linda, and then maybe start, if it's okay, Mayor, turn some time to Linda, just say a few words. And then Stephen Bingham, who's sitting in the back, we're going to invite him up as well, if that's okay, just to to introduce himself. But Linda comes with a lot of experience. We really are excited to have her. Comes from El Paso, has experience with the city of El Paso, as well as school districts and university experience. So broad, wide range of experience. And I'll let Linda speak for herself here, but we just want to introduce her and welcome her.
Thank you all. I'm very happy to be here. I am a native El Pasoan, and so I'm very familiar with the Las Cruces community. I'm thrilled to be here, and I would like to publicly thank Jocelyn Garrison and Brad Douglas. They're two attorneys in the city attorney's office who have handled a tremendous amount of work in while this position has been vacant, and all of the support staff. So I look forward to working with everyone.
And then while Stephen Bingham's making his way up, Stephen comes from St. George, Utah. Now, I didn't know Stephen. I was from up north, but I want to make note that St. George has been a standard for parks maintenance in Utah. In fact, I've sent my team from Eagle Mountain there to shadow that city just to learn how to be efficient and effective with their parks maintenance. But really excited to have Stephen Bingham here. I'll let him just introduce himself and say a few words.
Thank you, Ifo, Pili, and I appreciate the opportunity to address Mayor and City Council. I am so excited to be here and be a part of this community. I have a strong passion for Parks and Recreation. It changes lives. It is what helps create the quality of life that we need in our communities and brings joy to the community. It brings life, it brings culture, or I should say it helps bring it out because the people have it. And I am really excited. I'm grateful. My wife is a career teacher and she joined me here today. We just came down over the weekend and I think she thinks it's the first day of school and there's supposed to be pictures. And I've tried to explain to her, no, it's not like your kindergartners, first grade, second and third graders. It's not that way. And so I'm excited to have her here, and I'm excited to be in your community.
I was just going to say, hopefully your wife didn't poke you in the elbow and say, did you bring me here after seeing? This isn't really how it is. It happens every so often. Just know that, it's just a different time right now. This is happening in probably cities throughout America. Yeah, during public comment. And so, welcome. And,
well, thank you.
I know Ifo was very excited about having you have that opportunity. So, welcome here. And I know it's probably a lot hotter here than I presume. I don't know. I just think of Utah as a nice, cool place.
Well, everyone thinks of the snow in Utah, and St. George is usually about 115 during the summer. In fact, about 3 weeks ago, we were 117. And so we're slightly warmer than you guys, is my understanding. And during the winter, we're about the same. Maybe a little bit colder is what I've heard. But no, my wife didn't hit me. She is excited to be here. She did cry because I just moved her from somewhere else 2 months ago. And she's like, we're moving already? But she got here, she's been here, this is her third time here. She's come with me every time. And she thinks this community has great culture and is falling in love with it and is excited to be a school teacher in this community.
That's great.
Welcome.
I'm going to share with you something that you're probably going to encounter. I hear this often. Recently, there was this gentleman who came to me. He says, Mayor, I've been here 2 years. I moved here from Delaware. I lived there for 25 years in Delaware, this fellow saying. He says, I've made more friends here in 2 years than I had in 25 years in Delaware. So I think you're gonna love and embrace Las Cruces. I think it's a great move for you. And it's neat to see even Ifo, who has grown to love Las Cruces, and I don't think he wants to be any place else but here. So, anyways, welcome, and
thank you
too as well.
I'll add this. I spent some time in El Paso, and the demographics are pretty similar. But I also spent a couple years living in Guatemala and speak Spanish. It used to be fluent. I'm trying to get it back, but there's a larger Hispanic community here, and I will tell you, I love them. That community tends to be so family-oriented. I'm very family-oriented. They're very welcoming. When I went to El Paso, I couldn't believe how welcoming the community was, and that's what brought me to want to be here, because I knew your community would be even more welcoming.
Well, one last story. Lisa probably hasn't even heard this. So there were two large businesses. One has left, but there was two large, one's still here. And they had operations in both El Paso and Las Cruces. And they made a decision to both of them, not at the same time, but they both closed El Paso, and the executives moved here. And one is still here, one is Alaska Structures. So I think that speaks well for Las Cruces, and I just want to brag a little bit about that. So.
Well, I think the bragging is definitely deserved. Your park and recreation system is so much better. You guys have done a very good job. I hope to come in and add to what Sonia has done, because you guys have already had a very good, strong base, and that was appealing to me.
Very good. Congratulations. Mayor Pro Tem?
I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, I'd had a conversation with some firefighters, and they spoke to the national standard for the number of firehouses and population. And I understand we're 2 firehouses behind, and I just want for EFO and Chief Smith to gather some information for me related to that, because I'm not familiar or aware of it. And if that was the case, where would the locations be of these firehouses? But it, of course, says we're growing, right? And the national standard says we're behind. We should really have a robust conversation about that because of our growth. And so just wanted, I promised I would bring it up and have forgotten. And I'll just lastly mention, for those folks that are concerned about substance abuse treatment facilities and the work in that, we're having a meeting September 7th location to be determined, with hopefully our legislators to address this specific issues and help sort of organize ourselves to then come to our legislative session asking for money to provide. And then 5 West is open. 5 West is now open, was open since last Wednesday. And I'm hoping that, you know, we're also seeing some relief out in the streets for folks that need that service. Thank you, Mayor, for giving me the opportunity.
Of course. And 5 West is the psychiatric unit. Yeah. Ifo.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem, Chief and I can get with you. I know Chief is pretty much on top of the needs of, of our fire stations, and I know Station 9 is being planned, and so, but we can give you the information you need. Just a couple more FYI from our departments. Community engagement from our CMO office. Katrina, thank you for sending the information. The Community Engagement Office will begin relaunching our Neighborhood Leadership Academy, so this fall. But it'll be in a few different formats. We want to provide the right resources and information to improve constituents' knowledge of the city of Las Cruces and its functions. And so first we'll kick off the Development Leaders Academy for middle and high school students, which will take place during fall break. This will consist of 5 half-day sessions with students meeting at various city departments to receive firsthand information and give input on city operations. And then the Neighborhood Leadership Academy in the original 10-week format will relaunch in January. The Academy has a maximum of 35 participants. And then the Get to Know Your City seminar series will launch in July of 2024, which will be held in the council chambers every other Wednesday for 10 sessions, and up to 250 people can attend each session. So really appreciate Katrina and her team, and it's a lot of work, And I think Barbara said she had to hold Katrina back a little bit, so just so she didn't spread herself too thin, but, yeah. And then just something from, I appreciate Public Works sending over some information about our streets projects. Bellamont Drive reconstruction project will begin mid-August, so it'll be a couple of weeks. And then estimation completion date will be May of next year. And then I know Public Works sent over a list of streets. I don't know if I'll go through all the 20 streets with application, a chip seal application, actually Cape Seal as well. And so just for information, chip seal is a pavement management application that it's a coat but has aggregate in it. And the chip seal Cape Seal will help seal the aggregate in there after it's done. And so it'll look like a brand new road, but it's really meant for maintenance, sealing. Most of the wear on our roads, it really comes from the base. And so when you seal it up, it provides more integrity for the road and makes it more long lasting. But 20 streets will be done within am I reading this right, David? A 4-day period, August 7th to 11th, so within 5 days. Let's see, one more. Visit Las Cruces, thank you. The Las Cruces Restaurant Week. It's had a great start, and that was running from August 4th through the 11th. The program offers discounts provided by local restaurants as well as rewards for checking in during visits. Rewards range based on final number of visits. Individuals can register at visitlascruces.com for the free digital pass. There are 28 restaurants participating as of this morning, Monday. August 7th, there are 489 individuals registered for the digital pass and 79 check-ins recorded over the first weekend. Well, that's all I have, Mayor and Council. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ifo. Well, with that, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Beta.
Second, Graham.
Motion made by Councilor Beta, second by Councilor Graham that we adjourn. Christine?
This is on the motion to adjourn the meeting. Councilor Beta?
Yes.
Councilor Graham?
Yes.
Councilor Bencomo?
Yes.
Councilor Coran?
Yes.
Councilor Flores is absent. Councilor Gondeta?
Here,
Yes. And Mayor?
Yes. Okay, it's 3:02 p.m. We are adjourned. Thank you.